Hello everyone, now we are going to start our next chapter, that is strings. So suppose in memory if I want to store a character, then I can create a character array. Suppose if I want to store a text, or if I want to store a word, or if I want to store the whole paragraph, then I am going to create a structure that is known as strings. So I am going to use a structure that is strings. So in previous chapter, in arrays chapter, we created a lot of integer type arrays. So what is the syntax for integer type array? First of all, we write int keyword after my array name, square brackets is equals to, I am going to store my elements 1 2 3 4 5, whatever the elements I have. So suppose if I want to create a character array, then I can store character. I will write character after that my character name is equals to, in the single bracket, I told you that in the single quotations, we'll represent our characters. So a b c d. So this is how we can store elements in a character array. So the elements which are stored in the character array are stored separately. You can see that this array is stored in the form of boxes, right? So these elements are stored separately, right? So if I want to store in a continuous manner, or together, all the elements together, then I will create a string character. String keyword, first of all I will write a string. To implement string, first of all I will write string keyword after my string name str is equals to, in the double quotations, a b c d. So I can store, rather than storing separately, I will just create a string str is equals to abcd. So this is how we will create strings in Java. And I believe, from my perspective, I believe that Java string are slightly better than C++ strings, because Java strings has more functionality, and it has some features which C++ I believe that didn't have that much. That's why I prefer Java strings, because of its functionality. Now let us see how we can create, or what are the various ways to implement my strings. After that, how we can take input, output, and various things by coding it. Now in my main program, first of all I am going to create my string variable. First of all I am going to create a string string, string string str. Remember guys that in the string keyword the s word is capital. Str is equals to, I am going to store a b c d. So this is the one way to store a particular, or to implement a particular way. This is the first method. After that we can use another method also, that is I can create a string string str1 is equals to, str1 is equals to new string string. In the brackets I can store x y z. So there is a slight difference between just writing string str is equals to abcd, and writing string str is equals to new string xyz. There's a slight difference in memory, or you can say implementation level, but it doesn't affect in my execution level. So we will study what happens in the memory and implementation level later in our videos. But for now, remember guys, that there is a only slight difference. There is no like much difference between these two types of implementation methods. So these are the two methods. This is my first method, and this is my second method. So these are the two methods that we use to create a particular string. And remember guys that there is a slight difference in implementation level, but we don't need to worry about that, because there is a slight difference only, but it doesn't affect in my execution level. So when we execute these two, then there is no difference between these two that much. So there is only difference in implementation level, that's all. Now let us see how we can take input from our user, or how we can give output, or how we can print a particular string. Now first of all, let me comment this out. Let me comment these two lines, right? Okay. Now here, first of all I am going to create a string string name is equal name. I am not going to initialize. So after that I am going to create my scanner class, scanner sc is equals to new scanner index system dot in. Scanner system dot in, right? After that I am going to take the value from the user. So name is equals to sc dot next. right? After that I'm going to print system.out.print, and to print the value that is given by our user, I will just write my name of the string. So name, that's all. This is how I will take input in the ninth line. This is the input, this is the input, and in this is how I will give output to my user. Now save this thing and run. So I have to give the name, the input to my user. So I am going to give my name Jabir, Jabir. You can see that I have printed the output as Jabir. Now I want to show you one thing here, that again I am running this program, and I am given here is I am giving input as Jabir space Hussain Hussain. You can see that I have given Jabir Hussain, but the output I got is Jabir, because here the input, in the input I have given sc dot next and parenthesis. So this line will take only one word, that's all, only one word. And if this got a blank space, blank space, then it will immediately stop there. So I have given Jabir space Hussein, right? So if you got if sc dot next got a blank space, then it will stop taking input from our user. So this is how sc dot next work. So to tackle that, or to ignore, or to tackle with this sc dot next, and what I am going to do, we are going to create a name, name is equals to sc dot next line. So next line will take input the whole line, take inputs as whole line. So I can give input as a string, Jabir Hussain, my name is Jabir Hussain, hey, my name is Jabir Hussain, whatever. We can give a whole paragraph. Sc dot next line will take the input of my whole paragraph. Now let me save this and run. First of all, I'm going to give my name, Jabir, Jabir space Hussain, Hussain, Jabir Hussain. So you can see that my output is Jabir Hussain. So sc dot next line will take the whole line including blank space, whereas sc dot next will only take the single word, and if it got a blank space, then it will stop taking the input from our user. So this is how the difference between sc dot next and sc dot next int, right? This is how we take input and output from our user. Now if I want to take in arrays chapter, we know how to calculate the length of my array. We just write arr dot length, and this arr dot length will give me the size of my array, the length of my array. So similarly here we have a function called as length, and this is a function, not a keyword, so we'll give parenthesis. So if I want to print the size of my name string, then I will write name dot length, curly sorry, parenthesis. So this will give me the length of my array. So let me run this. Here I am just giving Jabir, Jabir. You can see that my output is I am printing here in the line heading, I am printing the name of my, the output, the whatever the input I have taken, I am printing as my output. Here after it, in the 16th line, I am printing the length. Here you can see that Jabir, number of letters are 5. So the size of my array is 5, and I am printing my size of my array. So to calculate the size or the length of my array, I am going to write my string name dot length after that parenthesis, because length is a function here, whereas in arrays length is a keyword that will give me the array length, whereas in strings we use functions, length dot string name dot length after parenthesis. So this is how we can calculate the string length. After that, let us see, there is a important method. Let me comment this out. There is an important thing when it comes to question solving. We use it again and again. That is, suppose if I want to, in the name, I have taken the input from our user, right? The input is Jabir. Now if I want to print, the indexes also is there, because when we are studying arrays, we used to do indexes. We know the indexes starts from 0, 1, 2, 3. Similarly, in strings, each character has its own index, and the indexing similarly starts with 0. Now to calculate a particular index of a character, or in a previous chapter in arrays we can access elements through its index, right? So similarly we can access a particular character through its index also. So suppose if I want to print the character which is at 0th index, so I am going to write char at capital C, capital char at, first of all, my string name dot caret, name dot caret. Suppose if I want to print the 0th index here, then I will write 0, that's all. This will give me the 0th index character, whatever the character present in the 0th index, that will give me as my output. Now let me save and run. And then first of all I am giving input as suppose Tony. If I am giving Tony as my input, then I am printing the whole string after the 0th index. Here the 0th index character is T. Suppose if I want to print let me comment this out. Now suppose if I want to print the third index character, then let me run this again. Let me save first of all. Wait a minute, delete this and save again. Now run. I am printing the third index of my character. So I am giving here BATMAN, Batman. So you can see that here the third index is 0 1 2 3 M. Third index is M. So if I press enter, then I will get M. You can see that I got the output as M. So the third index character is M. So to access a particular character in our array, we use a method called as char at method. So this will give me the particular character which is present at that particular index. Now if I want to add two strings, if I want to add two strings, then suppose I am creating a string 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 first name, first name, after that string last name. Now let me comment this line also, right? Okay, now I am taking input from a user that first name is equals to sc dot next line, after that last name is equals to sc dot next line, right? I am taking input from my user. After that what I am doing, I am going to add two strings. So this is known as concatenation. So I am going to print a string full name is equals to first name plus last name, a blank space. Here I can give a blank space, right? Okay, plus last name. So to add two strings, we just write plus here, and this method, that is first string plus last string, s1 plus s2, or first name plus second name, this will add the two strings, right? This method or this thing is known as concatenation of two strings, right? After that I am printing system.out.print, and finally I am printing my full name. So let me save this thing and run. So first of all I am giving my first name as Jabar, Jabir, and second name as Hussein, Hussein. You can see that I got my full name output, that is Jabir Hussein. So to add two strings, so just write plus here, right? This is how concatenation works. This thing is known as concatenation. Right? Forgive me if the spelling is wrong, but this method is known as concatenation. Adding two strings is known as concatenation. And I want to tell you the most important things when it comes to Java strings. That is, in Java strings are immutable. Remember guys, this is the main important thing when it comes to strings in Java. That is, the strings which are present in Java are immutable. It means that we can't change the original value of my string. Suppose if I am taking a string s1 is equals to Tony, then I can't change the word as Sony or Pony or whatever it is. So I can't change the given string. If I have created a string once, then I can't change it. So this is known as immutability. In Java, the strings are immutable. Remember, this will get asked in the interviews a lot of times. So in Java, the strings are immutable. This is the important thing that we have to remember all the times when we are studying strings in Java. Okay, now let us solve our first question. That is, in this question we have to check whether the given string is palindrome or not. Palindrome or not. So how we can check this? To check whether a particular string is palindrome or not, what first of all let us understand what is palindrome. Suppose this is my given name, that is MADAM, madam. So this is the from 0th index, first index, second index, third index, fourth index. So these are my letters, right? So if I write the given string in reverse order, and if I got the same original string, then the given string is known as a palindrome. So if I am going to write from fourth index, that is MADAM, that is 43210, right? If I write this in reverse order, then if the original string and the reverse string order is same, then the string is known as, then the given string is known as palindrome. So I have to find out whether the given string is palindrome or not. So what is the logic for finding palindrome or not? So let us take an example that here there are three examples, right? Let us take this because this is a small one, so we can understand the logic what is going on in this string. So here NOON, noon. So can we observe one thing, that if a particular string is palindrome, then the first letter is equals to the last letter. The first letter is the same as last letter, and the second last is equals to the second last. Here let me take a race car, race car. You can see that the first letter is equals to the last letter. After that, second last, third last, and E is the common one. So we don't need to check with any one of this. So you can see that here the first letter is equal to the last letter, second last, third last. If these all things are equal, then and only my string will be a palindrome. If not, if any one of these cases becomes false, that if any one of the two characters is unequal, then given string immediately we tell our user that the given string is not a palindrome. So this is the main logic behind it. So we'll run a for loop. First of all, we'll run a for loop for int I is equals to 0, because we already know that indexing starts from 0th index. So we'll start our loop from I is equals to 0, and I should be less than or equals to string str dot length. And how many times we have to run? First of all, we have to run only half of the times, because if we run half loop, then we can check the rest of the elements also. So I'm going to run this loop half string length by 2, after that I plus plus. In this I'm going to check, what I'm going to check, if my str dot caret index I is equals to str dot last element indexes, right? Str dot char at caret n minus 1, because the total size of the array is n, right? That is nothing but str dot length. The total last index is, suppose here the n value is 5, but the last index is n minus 1. The last index is n minus 1. So n minus 1 to last element, that is n minus 1 minus I, because after each and every iteration I am decreasing the value of last index, right? I am coming towards the right side. So I need to check n minus 1 minus I times. If this if any one of this is not equal, first of all I am checking for not equal, then immediately return false. If all these are, if our loop iterations are completed, then what the meaning of it? The meaning of it the given string is a palindrome. So if the for loop is completed, then return true. So this is the pseudo code for checking whether the given string is palindrome or not. Now let us code this thing and understand even more better. I am going to create a function public p should be small, right? So public static boolean type function. I'm going to create a boolean type function because this will give me either true or false, right? After that, my name of the function is palindrome, is palin. After that, in this I am passing my string string str. I am passing my string str. After that, I am checking for int I is equals to 0, and I should be less than or equals to str dot length divided by 2. After that, I plus plus. Here I am going to check if before this, let me calculate the length of my array, length of my string, that is int n is equals to str dot length. After that, I am checking if my uh, str dot char at ith index is equals to str dot char at n minus 1 minus I. If these both strings are true, if these both strings are not true, if any one of this condition is false, then immediately return false. After completing all the iterations, if I didn't return anything, then it means that the given string is palindrome, so I am going to true return true. That's all. This is the code for checking whether the given string is palindrome or not. Now I am going to create my string. Str is equals to, suppose let me give noon, noon, right? After that, I am calling my uh, if in the if statement I am calling my isPalint function. If the returned value is equals to true, then what I am printing, I am printing syso system.out.print given string is palindrome. Given string is palindrome. After that, in the else block, else system.out.print given string is not a palindrome. Right? This is how I am going to run my loop. After that, I am checking at each iteration. If my character at the ith index is equals to n minus I minus 1. If this is not equal, then immediately return false. If these both are true, if I am completed my all the loop for loop, after it finally return true. Right? After that, I'm checking in the main program. I'm checking whether the return value is true or not. If true, then print palindrome, else print not a palindrome. Now let me save this thing and run. So NON is a palindrome, right? So the output we got is given string is palindrome. Suppose if I am giving here N A M N naman. So here naman man naman. Save this thing and run. So you can see that given string is also a palindrome because naman is also a palindrome. Now let me give my name here, right? Jabar, Jaber. So we already know that my given name is not a palindrome. So if I run the output, then we get as a given string is not a palindrome. So this is how we'll check whether the given string is palindrome or not. Now in this question we have to find the in this question the user have given me the 4 directions, and we have to find the shortest path between the reach point, that is the starting point, and the ending point. We have to find the shortest distance between these 2 points. So here the each direction is taken as 1 unit. So if the user give me W, then I will travel in the west direction 1 unit. If the user have given me north, then I will travel in the north direction 1 unit. If the user have given me south, then I will travel from top to down 1 unit. So here first of all let me write this is my axis, this is my axis is right, this is east, west, north, south. So these are my axes, north, east, west, south. First of all user has given me west, so I will travel from this let me change my ink. Okay, so first of all from origin I will start from origin, right? So 0 comma 0 I will always start from origin. After that I will travel west 1 unit. After that I will travel north 1 unit. After that east 1 unit. After that again north, east. After that again east, so I will travel east 1 unit. After that again north, so I will travel north 1 unit. After that again east, so east 1 unit. After that south 1 unit, so south 1 unit, right? Okay, after that north again. So after that, sorry, east. So from south to east 1 unit. After that north. After that this is the point, and again north 1 unit. After that again north, and finally this is my end point. So you can see that from the x-axis 1 2 3. So the x-axis is this is 1, again this is 1. So x-axis 3, and y-axis is this is 1. After that 1 1 1. You can see that y axis is 4. So the shortest between the starting point and the ending point is, we already know that the shortest point between any two points in physics we studied that is known as displacement. So from this to this is the shortest path between any 2 points. So this is known as displacement. So what is the formula? In maths we studied that the distance between, suppose let us take this is d, then the formula is root over x2 minus x1 whole square plus y2 minus y1 whole square. That's all. So here the answer is the final point is 3 minus 0 whole square plus 4 minus 0 whole square. So root over this, and finally we will got our output as 9. That is 3 minus 0 is 3 square. After that 4 minus 0 is 4 square. That is 16 here. Right? The sum is root 25, and the answer we will get is the shortest distance is 5. So this is how we are going to calculate the formula for shortest distance between any 2 points. Now these question might sound a little bit different for what we have to travel this, there, and also on. Right? There is a simple logic here. If you understand the logic, then you can do it. Right? The logic here is, remember guys, the logic here is we are starting our x comma y from 0 0. So initially our x is 0 and y is 0. Right? X is 0, y is 0. After that, suppose if I am traveling west, if I am traveling west, then it means that I am decrementing the value of x. So x will become x minus 1. Right? If I am traveling east, then it will towards the uh, towards right, it means that I am incrementing my value of x. So x will become x plus 1. So if I am traveling north, then my y will become, y will get changed. That is y will change from y plus 1. So if I am traveling south, then I have to travel from, I am decrementing the value of y, that is y minus 1. So this is the main logic here. This is the main logic. So whatever the steps we have, at each indexes we will go and we will check whether the given value is west, north, east, south. If the given value is west, then we will decrement x value. After it, if the given value is north, then we will increment the value of y. So this is the main here. This is the main thing here. You have to remember. Right, now let us code this thing. After it, after calculating the value of x and y, we will apply this formula, and from this formula we can calculate the shortest distance between any 2 points. Now this might sound a complex thing, but if I code this thing, you will understand it even more better. Now let us code this thing. Now first of all, let me write my function public static int type function, integer function, because it will return the shortest value, right? So int my shortest path. In that I am passing my string string str or string path. In the path function, what I am running, first of all, I'm going to initialize x value int x is equals to 0. After that, int y is equals to 0. After that, I am running my loop for int I is equals to 0 and I should be less than str or path. Here string name is path dot length. After that, I plus plus. Here I am checking, and what I am, first of all, I am checking for west condition. So if path dot char at I is equals to my single quotes w, capital W. If this the given is west, then what I have to do, I have to decrement the value of x is equals to x minus 1. So for east, east, for east I am going to write else if my given path dot char at index I is equals to east, capital E. If the given is capital E, then what I have to do, I have to increment x plus 1. Right? Okay. Now for north, north else if in this I am going to write path dot char at index I is equals to capital N. Right? Okay. Then what I have to do, I have to increment y value, y plus 1. Right? After that, again final else if for south, else if path dot length path dot length, okay, sorry, my bad. Path dot char at index I is equals to south, capital S. If this is the condition, then I have to decrement the value of y is equals to y minus 1. So this is how I will calculate the values of x and y by taking by checking the character at that particular index of my string. Now after checking all the things, what I have to do, I have calculated the values of x and y. Now I need to calculate its square. So to calculate its square, I am writing x x cube s cube is equals to, it will calculate x into x value. After that, int y s cube is equals to, it will calculate y square. So y into y, right? After that, what I have to return, I have to return first of all I need to create, because the whatever the value I got, suppose if I got root 7, then it is a decimal. So to because root 7 is a decimal value, it will give me a decimal value and it is not an integer. So I need to return here, in the place of integer, I need to return a float value. Float here, I need to typecast the value, because whatever the value I have, math dot square will return in the form of integer. So to tackle that, it will show me error. So to tackle the error, I am going to typecast here float, 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 after math dot square uh, yx cube plus, sorry, x cube plus ys cube, right? So I am going to calculate the sum. After that, I will calculate its square root. So this is how the code will work. Now let me give the sample example that we have taken. Int path, path is equals to, what I have taken, first of all, this is the sample example we have taken. Now let me call my function, that is shortest path, right? Shortest path function. And I'm passing my path as my path string. After that, I'm printing the whatever the value I got to my user, right? I'm printing the value right here, print value, that's all. Save this thing and run. Here, wait a minute, I have, in the place of 1 I have written factorial, my bad, 1. Save this thing and again run, right? I hope no errors now. You can see that I got my output as 5. So we already check manually that what will be our output is. Now this is how we can calculate the shortest path between any two given points. This is the code for calculating the shortest path between any two points. So this is the logic. I hope you have understood the logic and the pseudocode and all those things for this particular question. Now let us study string comparisons and all those things. Now we are going to study about some of the string functions in Java. Now to understand string functions, let me create a string. S1 is equals to Tony. I am going to store here Tony, 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 right? After that, string S2 is equals to, again I am going to store Tony, right? Again Tony. After that, I am going to create another string S3 is equals to new string string, new string, in that again Tony, right? Suppose how we can calculate that the given two strings are same or not, equal or not. So we can in previous examples and previous chapters, we did compare two elements of my array by just writing err of I is equals to this, right? And we used to compare two variables, right? Similarly, if I write that s1 is equals to s2, this is not the correct way, but I am checking what it will give me. So system.out.print, if these both are true, then write print equal, right? Else system.out.print not equal, save this thing, right? First of all, I am checking string s1 is equals to s2. If this is true, then print s1. Now I am going to check the s1 same string with s3 now. So if s1 is equals to s3, then system.out.print equal, right? Else system.out.print not equal. Wait a minute, sorry. Yeah, not equal. Right, this is how we are going to check now. Let me understand one thing, that first of all I'm checking with 2. After that, if those two are equal, then it will print equal. If not, then it will come into else block and it will print not equal. Right, after that I'm checking with s3 is equals to, yeah, s1 is equals to s3. If these two are equal, then it will print equal. If not, then it will not print, it will print not equal. Right, now let me save this thing. First of all, let me comment it out and check for s1 is equals to s3. Right, so first of all let me save and run. So I got my output as equal, right, because s1 is equals to s2, the values are same. Right, okay, I got my output as equal. Now let me here remove the comments, here. Now I'm going to comment this first s1 s2 block. Right, okay, now I'm going to run again and see what the output is. We got our output is not equal. S1 is not equals to S3, right? But you can see that S1 is equals to Tony and S3 is equals to Tony, right? The two values are same, but I am getting my output as not equal. So the main logic here, or the main what is going on in the background is our Java will store that for strings. Our Java compiler creates a stack and heap. We'll study about it in detail, right? So our in memory allocation, our string creates a stack and a heap. In the heap, the value of string gets stored and the string points to that particular value. Right, for example, that I have created Tony, right? So s1 will point to Tony. After that, s2 will also get pointed to Tony. So if I compare these two, then these two are pointing to an object, that is Tony. Right, okay, so s1 points to Tony and s2 also points to the same Tony. Right, okay, so if I compare these two, s1 s2, then it will give me same. But when I create new string, then a new Tony is created. So Tony for s1 is equal to Tony is created. When I create s3 is equal to new Tony, new string Tony, a new Tony is created in the heap, and s3 will point this. And for s2, a new Tony, s1 point to this Tony and s3 will point to this Tony. So the pointing of two objects are different, such that I will get output as s1 is not equals to s3. So when I run the output, I got that s1 is not equals to s3, because those two things are pointing to different blocks or different objects. That's why I got my output as not equal. Right, I hope you have understood. Now to compare any two strings, this is not the correct way. So to compare two strings, we will use a string functions. So if I want to compare the actual values, not the objects. So s1 is equals to s2 will compare the objects, not the values. So if I want to compare the values of my string, I use suppose I'm printing system.out.print, or if in the if statement I want to compare s1, the values of s1 equals to s3. Right, this is how I will write dot equals, after it in the parenthesis s3. If this will give me either true or false. So if this is true, if this the given value is true, then print system.out.print equal, 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 right? Else system.out.print not equal, So this is how we will check whether the two given string values are same or not. Right, let me run this code. We can see that we got our output as equal, because the values which are present in the object are equal. While when I write that s1 is equals to s3 is equals to s3, this thing gave me not equal, because these things checks the object, whether the objects of s1 and s3 are same or not. So if they are not, then it will print not equal. Right, but s1 here, this thing s1 equals to s3 will check the actual values which are present at my strings. So this is how we can compare or check two strings. Now let us talk about substrings. So in arrays, we already know that subarrays is a continuous part of array. Right? Similarly, suppose let us consider a string hello, 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 world, world. So here this LOW is a substring, and HEL is also a substring, and WORLD is also a substring, and this whole thing is a substring. So substring is a continuous part of my strings. Here EWD is not a substring, but it is a subsequence though. Subsequence are a part of my given string, but it is not a substring. So how we can say that whether the given string is substring or not, or to print here we are printing, the user will give me the starting index and the ending index, and we have to print whatever the elements which are present in between the string. Suppose I am taking hello world example, HELLO so our indexing starts from 0, right? 0 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. So if I want to print the elements which are present from 0 to 4, here remember one thing, that ending index is excluded, so we don't include the ending index. So if I give starting index as 0 and ending index as 4, then I will print from 0 to 3 elements. So I will print HELL to my user, right? This is a substring. This is the concept of substring. Now let us code this thing. So let me, in the main program, let me create my function string str is equals to HELLO hello world, hello world. Now here let me create my function, public static void. So it will print my substring, right? So substring in this I'm passing my string string str. In this, first of all, creating a new string, that is string sub str. I'm going to initialize it with nothing. After that, I'm running my loop for int I is equals to 0 and I should be less than I will start from starting index, right? So in the parameters I have to take the starting index comma int starting index comma int ending index. So we will start our loop from starting index, after ending index, after I plus plus. Here what I am doing, I am adding substring plus is equals to str dot char at that particular I value. After that, print system dot out dot print substring. That's all. Now let me call here in the main program, let me call substring function. Here I have to give sub sub, not sun, right? Substring, and let me pass my 0 comma 4 as my starting index and ending index. Save this thing and run. Here it is showing me, right? Okay, string string. Let me run this. You can see that I got my output as string HELL substring, that is my substring. So without implementing our own thing or the function, there is a string function, inbuilt string function that we can use. I just wanted to tell you the logic, that's why I told you how substring functions works in the background. Now the inbuilt function for substring is, first of all, we will write our string name dot substring. Here first of all, in the 0 thing, we'll write our beginning index or the starting index, after that our final index. So I will write my final index 4 and I am printing whatever the value that my string got. Right here I am printing the value. Right here. Right, okay. Right, save this thing and run. You can see that I got my output from my inbuilt function also the same. So in most of the coding questions and in most of the things, we use substrings, and we don't implement our codes for calculating length or calculating substring. We just use inbuilt functions which are there in our programming. Now in this question we have to print the largest of the given strings. So the user will give us a string array, and we have to print the largest element, which is the largest string which is present in our elements string array, right? So we are going to do in the lexicographically order. So what is the meaning of lexicographically? Suppose let us take a string that a b d. After that, this is my first string, and after that, here a b e. First of all, the first strings are same, right? So the only changes here the last strings. So we'll check d will first come or e will come first. So d will come first, so d is less than, that is this string 1 is less than the string 2, because this will come later, right? So the size of this thing is more, or the number or ASCII value of e is more than the d value, ASCII value of d. So this value is greater than the first string, that is str2 is greater than the second string, right? Okay, str2 is greater than the first string, right? Okay, so how we can do this question? So to do this question, we will use a inbuilt function, string inbuilt function, that is str1 dot compare to str2, right? This will compare the string 1 with string 2, and if this gives me 0, it means that the given two strings are equal. If it gives me less than 0, right? If it gives me less than 0, then s1 is less than s2. The meaning of it is s1 is less than s2. If it gives me greater than 0, that is my something value is greater than 0, right? Positive value, then s1 is greater than s2. So we use the concept of this and lexicographically to solve this particular question. First of all, I'm going to create my string array, that is fruits, fruits, fruits array. In this I'm going to store apple, apple, comma mango, comma banana. After that, I am creating a string variable, that is known as largest, and this will hold the first index value. I am considering that my first index value is my greatest. I am considering it as the first index which is present at my string array is the largest value. After that, I am running my loop from first index, from int I is equals to 1, and I should be less than fruits dot length, right? After that, I plus plus. Here what I'm doing, I'm checking if my largest is largest dot compare to, I'm using compare function, compare to my particular fruit of that particular array, that is ith index. If this is less than 0, it means that my largest is greater than that particular ith index element. So if the condition is true, then what I'm doing, I'm changing the value of largest is equals to fruits of ith element. After that, finally, what we have to do, we have to just after completing the loop, just print system.out.print largest value, whatever we have. Now save this thing and run. You can see that here mango is the largest element with respect to, or with the reference of lexicographically order. From lexicographically order, mango is the largest element which is present, because the elements which are containing n, g, o are the last elements, right, of the, or have more ASCII value. When we compare a in the banana, we have a, b and n, whereas in p, p, l, e, these are the starting letters of my alphabets, right? So because of this, mango is the largest element which is present in my array based on lexicographically. Now let us understand what happens in the memory when we create a particular string, right? And in the previous example, we have seen that s1 is not equals to s3. Why it happened? And because the values are same, but it is showing that the two strings are not equal. Why is that? What is the reason behind it? We are going to understand all this in this video. Now first of all, let me create a string s1 str1 is equals to Tony. It's gonna store the value of Tony. After that, I'm going to write another string str2 is equals to, I'm going to store again the value of Tony. right? After that I am going to create a string str3. Str3 is equals to new string. In this I'm going to store again Tony, right? Okay, right. First of all, one we have to understand one thing, that in strings memory allocation happens in the form of combination of stacks and heaps. So this is a heap, you can imagine this as a form of a heap. This is a heap. After this is my stack, heap and stack. So in the stack a variable is created str1, right? And in the heap the actual value, whatever the value we are storing, that will create in our heap. So Tony will get stored here, Tony will be here, right? After that str2 will be, right, str2 will get created, and these two variables will point to Tony object. This is the object, or you can say that this is the value that is stored in our heap. So string1 will point to Tony and string2 will also point to Tony. So when we write str1 is equals to str2, this will give me equal, right? Because these two things are pointing to only one object, that's why this thing will give me these both str1 and str2 are equal. Suppose if I create new string, here I have created new string, right? So here another Tony is created in the heap, and here str3 will point to this Tony now. So str3 will point to this particular Tony. That's why str1 is not, when we do str1 is equals to str3, it give us a not equal, because the objects pointing, str3 is pointing to different thing and str1 is pointing to different thing, right? This thing is known as interning. This is due to this happens, due to this thing happens due to interning concept. This concept is known as interning, right? Okay, right, remember the technical language we are using here, right? This thing happen because of pointing to different objects. This pointing to different objects is known as interning, right? Okay, now I told you that in Java strings are unmutable or immutable, right? So suppose if I want to change the value of from Tony to Pony or Sony, right? These can't be possible in Java, because if I create a string, then I can't change, but I can add. Suppose I can add a in my variable, right? If I can add, we know how to concatenate two strings, or how to append a particular string to another, right? So I can write Tony, right? I can add here a, right? Tonya, or I can add b, Tonya b, right? So if I add a, so here Tonya A, right? If I change the value from Tony to Tonya A, then the connection will get changed. So here this is how the connection works. Let me erase this thing. So str1 and str2. Now the pointing will get changed here. So from Tony to Tony has changed to Tonya. I have added A, but I haven't changed the original value. That is the concept of immutable. I haven't changed the original value, because we can't change the original value. We can add elements to my particular string. This is the concept of immutability or immutation, right? So from Tony, initially the str1 or str2 are pointing to Tony. Now the Tony has changed to Tonya, and I have added A here. So the Tony, the str1 will point to now here Tonya A, and this will thing points to Tonya A. So this is how the concept of memory allocation, or this is what happens in memory. So the memory allocates, or memory happens in the combination of stacks and heaps when it comes to strings. So this is why we got str1 is not equals to str3, because of the interning concept, because the object which is pointing to variable is different. That's why we got output as not equal, right? Remember guys that we can't change the value of string. Those things are immutable. Those things are immutable. In Java, the strings are immutable. We can't change the original strings. Yeah, but we can add extra values, extra characters. We can add at the rate, hashtag, percentage, 2, 3, 4, whatever the valid characters we have in Java, we can add those things. So this is the concept of why characters, or why strings are immutable in Java and how memory works for strings when it comes to Java. So in the combination of string, stack and heaps, memory allocation forms in this order. Now remember guys that we can't change from Tony to Pony or Sony, whatever, right? We can't change the original value, but we can add, we can concatenate, we can append, but we can't change the original value we have. That is known as immutability or immutation. And remember guys that Java, I am telling you again and again, in Java the strings are immutable. We can't change the original string. So this is the concept of why strings are immutable in Java. Now we are going to start about, now we are going to study about string builders. So string builders, so the syntax for string builders is, first of all, we will write a string, after it a builder, right? After it builder, SB, the name of the string is equals to new string builder, new string builder, and we will give whatever the value we want here. Suppose if I want to give hello world. So in previous lecture we studied that we can't modify or we can't change the values of string. So for that, to tackle or to change the values of string, or to change the values and the elements of the string, we create in the place of strings we create string builder. So string builder is the class that we import from our Java collection framework, and we'll create it object, that is SB, and we'll write whatever the things we want, right? So to convert a string builder to string, we use SB. First of all, we write the name of the string builder after to string. So this thing will convert a string builder to string. So you can observe one thing, that char is the data type. Similarly, string is also kind of a, you can say, data type. Similarly, character array or data type, whatever. So here char is data type, right? Char, by using char we can create character variables and all those things. Here we can create the objects of characters by just writing the whole character keyword, and by writing ch we are going to create the objects of characters. Here we are creating the variables of characters. Similarly, we can create the variables of strings, and we can create the variables of objects of strings by building string builders, right? Okay, so we can't directly print or return string builders. So to do that, we'll convert the string builders to strings by this uh, inbuilt function, that is sp dot to string. This thing will convert me from string builder to string. Now let us code this thing and understand how the thing work here. I am creating my string builder, string string builder sp is equals to new string builder. That's all. I am not placing anything here. After that, I am running a loop int, sorry, char ch is equals to a, ch is equals to a, comma, ch should be less than or equals to z. After that, ch plus plus. In the for loop, what I am doing, I am adding or modifying the value of right sp, and I am adding here ch, right? Ch, and finally whatever the value I got, I am printing the sp value, right? Sp, right? Okay, now let me save this thing and run. You can see that we have printed all the alphabets, 26 alphabets, A to Z, right? This is how string builders work. We can also print the length of my sp, right? System.out.print sp dot length, right? So total number of alphabets are 27, so it will give me the size of 26. So we have printed the alphabets, after that the size of my sp. So this is how the string builder works. You can Google and study the sheets that we have provided after the video completion for string builders. So in this question, we have to convert the string provided into uppercase, right? Suppose the user has given me, hey, I am Jabir, right? Then I have to convert this particular string as, hey, I am Jabir. So this is how I need to convert the particular given string into capital letters or upper cases, right? This is the main funda of this question. Now to change the character or to change the string to uppercase, first of all let us click this is my right array given string, right? String hey I am Jabir, right? So I will traverse at each index, at each index, and I will take each character and I will change the each character into uppercase. So to change the each character into uppercase, what we can do, first of all, we'll use a inbuilt function, that is a character dot to uppercase, and I will pass the character which is present at that particular char, which is particular index, that is str dot char at that particular index. So suppose here this is the 0th index, right? So I will get h, and h will be converted into ch, and after converting, I will store into a ch character, and I will add into my str dot int append. I will create a new string, and I will add that particular character into my string. So this is how the appending or adding new string works. Adding the new strings works, and finally I will print my str1 value, and the output I will get is like this. So this is how the basic overlay and the structure of my question. Now let us code this thing. So in the main program, I am going to create my string str. String str is equals to hey, I am Jabir, right? Okay, so here I'm going to create my function public static string type function. So this will return a string. After that, the name of my function is to uppercase. To uppercase, in this to uppercase is my name of the function. In this I'm passing my string str. After it, in this, first of all, I'm creating a string builder. I'm creating a string builder because I have to modify the things, right? So I'm going to create my string builder, string builder sb is equals to new string builder, right? That's all. And in this I'm going to initialize nothing, right? After that, I'm going to create a character char ch is equals to character dot to uppercase, and here I'm going to give str dot caret 0th index, right? 0th index. First of all, I'm going to change the first character present in the 0th index, right? After that, I'm running my loop. I'm running before running my loop, I'm going to append sp dot append the value of ch into my sb string builder. After that, I'm running my loop for int I is equals to 1, and I should be less than str dot length. After that, I plus plus. Here, first of all, I'm checking if str dot char at I is a blank space or not. If it is a blank space, then just leave it now, right? If it is a blank space, and I should be less than str dot length minus 1. Suppose in the last index I have given a space, so to ignore this, we are running up to n minus 1 times, right? Okay, now here in the if statement, this will showing me okay, we have to give in single quotations, right? So single quotations, yeah. Now in the if statement, I'm adding sb dot append str dot caret I, right? After that, I plus plus, right? After appending sb dot append, I am again appending character to uppercase str dot caret I value, right? Okay, this is what I'm doing in the if statement. If it is not a blank space or whatever, then what I'm doing sp dot append. Similarly, append in this str dot character at that particular index, right? Okay, now finally return sp dot to string. That's all, right? I'm converting into a string and returning. Now whatever the string that I have written, I'm printing that by calling the function name to uppercase, and I'm passing str. Now let me save this thing and run this. You can see that I have converted all my things as uh, yeah, all my things as hey, I am Jaber Hussain. Now you can see that mm, I have only converted. So in the question, you can see that the thing which we have to convert are the initial starting letters of my question. Now there's a misinterpretation here. I need to only convert the starting of my letters, right? So if I want to change all the things to capital, then I can write. I can simply write here. Don't need to give a if whatever, right? Don't need to give a else. Just do here like this, right? Save this thing, and if I want to convert all the letters into capital, then just do this and run. You can see that I have converted all the letters including starting and after that first index and all the things into capital. So if I want to convert the starting letter of after the space, here I got the space, after that I have converted capital letter, after that I have converted space after capital letter. So to do that, this is the code, this is the code, let me, right, this is the code for only the beginning of the letter. And if I want to convert all the letters into capital, then I need to just remove this thing, remove this thing and remove this thing, that's all. So by removing this thing, I can convert all the letters into capital. So if I want to convert only the capital initials of my letters as capital, then I need to write all this code. Now in this question we have to compress the given string. You can find this problem like in lead code, HackerRank, and all these coding platforms. Like in competitive coding, you will definitely come across these sort of problems. Now in this question, this is the given string, right? This is the given string, and we have to compress the given string in this format. Now we can see that here that a has repeated 3 times, 1 2 3. So we write a3, after that here b 2 times, so b2, after that c 3 times, so c3, after d 2 times. Suppose if the given string is a b b b c d, then the output will be a 2 times, right? A2, after that b 3 times, after that c, after that d, right? This is how we will write the output by compressing the given string. Suppose if the given output is if the given input is a b c, then we don't write a1 b1 c1, because it's not compression, right? It is not compression, we are expanding in this, so we don't need to write a1 b1 c1 if it is repeated once. So just write a b c, the string as it is. So this is the concept of this question. So suppose if the given question is x x, after x y z z, then the output will be x3 y z2. So this will be the output. We will compress the given string by counting the number of occurrence of each character in our string. So this is the concept of our question. So how we can do this question? So to do this question, first of all, I am creating a new string and assigning it empty, and I am going to assign it with empty initially. After that I will run a loop. Before running a loop, after that I will run a loop, for loop, for int I is equals to 0 to my str dot length, that is my string dot length. And in that I'm going to create a count variable. In this question, I'm going to, in the loop, I'm going to create my count variable. Count is equals to 0. So this count will keep track of each character, how many times it has repeated, or you can, in other words, this count variable will keep track of how many number of times a particular character has repeated. After that, in this I will run a while loop. While my I should be less than str dot length, I am checking for up to n minus 1 characters, right? So str should be length of -1, and my character, if this while loop, after that I will go inside the while loop. If my str dot char at I, str of char at I is equals to str of char at I plus 1. If this condition is true, then I will go into the loop, and what I will do, I will first of all increment count, that is I will increment the count value. After that, here what I will do, I will increment the value of I plus plus. So here you can see that initially I is equals to 0, that is 0 index 0 1 2, after that 0 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9, right? So I am incrementing each number up to 3 times, and incrementing the count up to this condition is true. If this condition is false, then I will come out of loop. After coming out of loop, what I will do, I will add in my new string, that is new str plus is equals to, I will add, that is count I will add, before adding count, I will add first of all the string itself, the character which is at that particular index. So str dot char at index I, right? I will add that character. After that, if my count number of occurrence is greater than 1, then first of all I need to convert this is a, what you can see, this is a integer, right? And I am converting this into a string. So to convert a integer into a string, instead of writing int, I will write integer class, right? To convert a string builder, we will write sb dot to string, right? Similarly, I will write integer dot or count dot to string. This will convert our integer into string type character. So here I am going to write integer count is equals to 0. Here, if my count is greater than 0, then what I will do, new start, I will add the count value to my new string, right? Plus is equals to count dot to string. That's all, to string. So this will convert the integer into count, right? That's all. After that, after completing all the loops, all the iterations, finally return the value of new str. That's all. So what I'm going to do, first of all, I will create a new string. I will assign empty thing to my string. I will assign it with empty. After that, I will run a for loop. In the for loop, I will create an integer character. After that, I will, in the while loop, I will check whether my first character is equals to my second character, and I will also keep my I on the number of ith element, because I need to know how many times I have to run. I am running n minus 1 times, right? So I need to provide this condition in my loop. So if these two conditions is true, then what I'm doing, I'm increasing the value of count. That is nothing but my occurrence of my each character. After that, I will increase the ith index. After it, after completing the while loop, I'm adding the particular character to my ith index. After that, I'm checking if my count is greater than 1. If my count is greater than 1, then what I will do, I will add that particular count by converting that particular count integer variable into string to my new variable. After completing all the iterations, I will what I will do, I will return my new string to my user or to my main function. This is the pseudo code for my string compression question, right? So in here, the occurrence of each character is 1, right? So I'm going to initialize with count is equals to 1, not 0. This is the only change. So this is the pseudocode. This is the pseudocode for compressing my given string. Now let us code this thing and understand even more better. Now, first of all, I'm going to create my function public static. Now I'm going to create string type function, because this will return a string, right? This will return our new string. So I'm going to create my string type function. So string string. After that, my function name. What is my function name? String compression. String compress. In that I am passing my string str, right? After that, here first of all, I am going to create my new string string new str. I am going to initialize it with nothing. After that, I am running my for loop for int I is equals to 0 and I should be less than str dot length. After that, I plus plus. Here first of all, I am going to create my count is equals to 1, initialize it with 1. After that, in the while loop, I am going to create while I should be less than str dot length minus 1 times, and logical and here str dot length minus 1. After that, our str dot character dot char at index I should be equals to str dot char at index I plus 1. If these both conditions are true, then what I will do, I will increment the value of count. After that, value of index, right? After that, what I will do, I will, after completing our while loop, I am going to change the value of a new str is equals to plus is equals to char str dot char at index I, right? Okay. After that, I am checking if my particular count is greater than 1. If my particular count is greater than 1, then add that particular count to my string. So how I can add? I can add first of all my new str plus is equals to this is a appending step. right? Okay, here what I will do, I will write count dot to string. So to convert a count integer variable, I need to write my integer class. Right here, I am going to convert to string, right? Finally return my new string to my user. Wait a minute, I need to remove all these things. New strings, that's all. Finally return my new string, and in the main program, let me create a string, string string str is equals to a b b c c c, that's all. And finally, whatever the value that will return my that will get returned by the string compress function, I am going to print it, that's all. Right, save this thing and run. You can see that the value I provided is a 3 times, b 2 times, c 3 times, and I got my output as a3 b2 c3. So our code is working fine, and this is the code, this is the given code for compressing a given string. Suppose if I gave here suppose a 5 times, and save this thing and run again, then it will give me different answer. You can see that I have given a 3 times, b 2 times, and c 7 times. So this is how I'm going to compress my given string, and this is an important problem. I can say that this is an important problem because you can find this particular problem in various coding platforms, right? With that being said, now let us start. Now this is the chapter of strings. We have studied string functions, how the memory works, and how to declare a string input output, and we have solved palindrome question and many more questions, right? So with that being said, the strings chapter is completed. Now I want you guys to solve that assignment which is provided. So now we are going to start our next chapter, a very interesting and a simple chapter, that is bit manipulation. So with that being said, I will see you in the next chapter.